Yo, 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 peace and light, family, abundance, manifestations, and gratitude. Great to see everyone today. Sykes, I can't see you, but you can see me. It's a great day to be alive, and we're here today to go through the process of growing mushrooms. So, the type of mushroom that we'll be growing today is oyster mushrooms, one of my favorite mushrooms to eat. It's all the craze nowadays. Mushrooms have a host of benefits for the body: vitamin D, protein, antibacterial, antiviral. It helps treat the body, it helps repair the immune system. Most edible mushrooms, that is. Oyster mushrooms are primary saprophytes, meaning they're the first to break down non-living organic matter. It can be used as a substitute for meat. They're really good. We started growing mushrooms about a year ago, and the process is really fun, pretty challenging because there's a lot of things to consider when growing a fungus. Oyster mushrooms are one of the easiest mushrooms to grow. They're grown on straw, and we're gonna take you guys through that process. So I hope y'all enjoy. I'm by no means an expert. Shout out to all the mushroom growers out there. Play of Sunlight Mushrooms, Falafel. Falafel is a group in Gainesville, and Play of Sunlight is a business that grows mushrooms here in the beautiful city of Tallahassee. So I'm gonna be taking y'all through my experience, and like I said, I hope y'all enjoy. All right, fam. So first, you start off with this. Oyster mushrooms are significant amongst other edible gourmet mushrooms in that they readily digest and break down straw. What we do is we're gonna cut this straw up to be no more than 4 inches in length. Yeah, so let me get a piece of straw for you guys. So you see this piece of straw. What we like to do is cut this so that maybe in half. We're gonna cut it piece by piece. This is a lot of straw. We get this from Gremlin's, which is the local farm supply store here in Tallahassee. Man, local is where it's at, guys. I always like to support local anything. You can get a bale like this for $7. It's a huge bargain for your deal. The best straw in Tallahassee, and yes, I've searched far and wide throughout my city for straw. So you get yourself a bale of straw, and what you do is you wanna take off a piece by piece. So this is like a little portion that I'm using right now, and around this much is how much I've used so far. And I'll put it into a box and get the cutting. All right, guys, so the tool that I use to cut this straw is right here. Bush cutters or loppers. You can get this for $5 from Family Dollar or Dollar General, or any department store, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, Sears. Sometimes even Ross and Marshalls if you know where to look. So I use this right here, and this definitely does the trick at cutting these. Quick tip, if you're using these right here, a technique that I found that works best is if you use this much of the blade instead of the whole thing. So cut with this part right here, and that'll get you some good pieces. If you try to use the scissors, you'll find you have a hard time cutting the straw. So this is what I found to be best. Now, some people like to use a lawnmower or a weed whacker to cut large amounts of straw to get larger batches done at a time. These are generally done outside, but today we're gonna use a stovetop method, which means we're gonna use smaller portions of straw, which means we only need this baby right here. So this is what I use. It's a lopper, a bush cutter. You only need to use the first, I say about 2.5 inches of the tip to cut the straw, and it does a great job at cutting. This is great for small home projects like we're doing today, and we're using the stovetop method. So yeah. Also, y'all, this is my new favorite jacket, so you might see it a lot. If y'all have a problem with it, you can buy me a jacket, and just make sure that it has this vest style to it, and make sure that it has this fabric on it. I don't care what type of fabric it is, but if y'all want to give me a jacket, that would be great. But I'm fine with this one right now. I feel like a cartoon character with a closet full of these same jackets. So this might be my urban farming cartoon jacket wear, and I just want to say that. So yeah. All right, so after cutting the straw, you can see that each piece is thoroughly cut. So the bush cutter or the lopper did a great job. You want to pick out any leaves that you see that don't need to be there. For the most part, this is pretty good. We're gonna use the pasteurization method to kind of cleanse the straw. Pasteurization is different from sterilization in that sterilization is sterile. It kills all the microbes inside of the growing medium, while pasteurization only kills the majority, leaving the necessary microbes that the oysters need to feed off of. Fun fact, mushrooms, mycelium, also grows off of cardboard. So it's all about that carbon cycle, guys. A single cell organism will tear up this carbon and produce a fruit that can heal your body. Isn't that amazing? So this is good for now. Some people have reactions to dust and straw. So what I would do is wear gloves and wear a mask if you think you might have a problem. And if you don't want to find out, wear your mask. But if you want to find out, then be brave. Me, myself, I don't have a reaction to it, but just be careful when you're trying this stuff. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this straw, we're going to put it into a pillowcase, we're going to fill it up, and we're going to use our turkey pot to fit the straw and to grow. All right, guys, so here's the turkey pot. You can get this from Walmart. Y'all know that's my go-to store, really because of convenience, but you can get one of these. Before we were using a pressure cooker, but we found out that using the pressure cooker puts a lot of stress on the stove. So we like to use the turkey cooker because it's lighter and it's actually taller, so it supports more straw for our home-based project. Instead of putting the straw in here, which would cause a mess, we want to use a pillowcase instead. Fill that pillowcase up and allow it to work from there. So here's our pillowcase filled with straw. Now make sure this is straw, not hay. The difference is that, I don't know if y'all can see that too well, but straw is just like a straw. It has a hole inside, which allows mycelium, which is the root system of mushrooms. It allows the mycelium to run through the straw and to readily take this up easily. Mycelium likes really tight spaces that are circular or spiral in nature to grow. So I've placed the straw in here, I've cut my pieces, and I'm gonna close this in order to see how much can the pot hold. So right now, the pillowcase is around halfway full, and I think it could take a little bit more. I'm probably gonna fill it up to about the last 1.5 inches to 2 inches. That's what I'm gonna leave. So I'm gonna fill this up a little bit more. Again, this is the low-tech straw method via pasteurization, not sterilization. So we're gonna put our chopped up straw in here. And let's see, I think that's about enough. Because what'll happen is that we're gonna put a plate on here in order to hold this down, and we're gonna fill this up with water. So I do anticipate some water filling up, but I kinda wanna put just a little bit more in here. I tell you, when you cut up this straw, it really goes a long way, guys. All right, so that should be pretty good. Let me see. I'm being real stubborn, so just maybe 2 more handfuls. All right, this is good for real. I don't care no more, this is good. All right, guys, so we have our cut up straw. It's gonna compress when I put a plate and a brick on top. I left about 2 inches from the top. We're gonna close this. We're eventually gonna fill this up with water and use a plate or a brick or both to hold this down. And we're gonna boil this like a nice tea for your mushrooms. So now that your pillowcase is all filled up, it is time to take this inside and put it on top of the stove. All right, everybody. So what I did was I took this pot right here and I filled it up in the tub, and you can see that it's actually around 3 inches of space, which is totally fine. This is a lot. This is a little bit more than a pressure cooker, and it works because it's the turkey pot. So I filled this up with water, close this, and we're gonna put a plate on top. I'm gonna put this plate on top to hold it down. Then we're gonna get a handy brick. Make sure y'all find a brick and put that on top of the plate. Like so. Y'all see that beautiful brick? And this will keep the straw under the water to make sure that everything gets pasteurized. Now you have your setup and you are ready to go. So we're gonna go here to our stove. This is flaxseed oil. We're gonna give y'all a tutorial another day about how to make flaxseed gel and put it in your hair. But anywho, so you get your stove and you put it on high. What we're gonna do is we're gonna let this boil until it reaches 170 degrees. And we're gonna let that boil for about an hour. So we're gonna be back when it boils. We're gonna use our compost thermometer. We don't stick it in our compost. It's a clean thermometer. We actually use it specifically for gauging the temperature of the waterfront mushrooms. But it's a compost thermometer. So we're gonna get that and we're gonna put it in here and we're gonna allow this to reach boiling temperature. And once it reaches that temperature, I'll be back. All right, everybody, so we're at 170. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. As y'all can see, it's a little bit over 170. Man, that thing was like at 180. And that is a no-no. But the cooking time for sterilizing the straw is 170 degrees for an hour to an hour and a half, and 170 degrees for an hour and a half is probably a lot more than 180 for about 5 minutes, because that's how I got there in the first place. But no worries. So if you slip up and it gets over that amount, what you're doing is you're moderating the heat. You can't just keep it at high or medium high or low. You have to adjust the temperature to keep that particular balance. Now, some people, what they'll do is they'll do it at 160 and like leave it there for a longer time, which is like less maintenance. But 170 is a short amount of time and you just gotta pay attention to it a lot. So we're gonna try to keep it at this 170. As you all see, I have the pot and I have the straw, the plate, and the brick, and it is cooking. So we're gonna let this do its thing. We're gonna maintain this and we're gonna be back in about an hour and go from there. All right, everyone, so we are back. It is the 1.5 hour mark and we just turned the oven off. We find that if you like let it go up to about 175 and just turn the oven off, that you can do that about 3 times and that might be your total time span. But anywho, the oven's ready. So we're gonna take this brick off. Gonna take this plate off, and what we're gonna do is pick this up, pour it all the water, drain it, take it to the table that we originally were at when we were cutting the straw, and we're gonna go to the next step. All right, just to show you guys, it is pretty hot, and I'm just placing the straw right here, letting a lot of the moisture kind of just go down to the sink, and you can just pour the rest of this tea outside. Actually, what you really could do, if you wanted to, is let this cool down, and that would probably be a nice little tea that you got for your plant. So I might do that. We got this pot. We don't eat turkey, and we got these specifically for doing the straw. So I'm just actually gonna set this outside. It's pretty cool outside. Let this cool down, and I'll just pour it out tomorrow on my plants. So yeah, here it is. You can see the steam still coming off of it. It's pretty much done dripping, and we're gonna take this to the table and we're gonna move on to the next step.